Hello everyone. Welcome back to the CCA, and we have a Division 2 matchup here to close out the night. We have TAMU White playing against the Splatlanders for a spot in Grand Finals. We're actually going to be getting right into the action here as both teams can't wait to get started. And with this really tough, fierce matchup here from both sides, I'm interested to see how they will choose to play out these games here, Nep2ne.
Yeah, for sure. We have quite a lot of how do I say it, strong players, iconic players, just with these two teams here coming out tonight. And already I'm seeing in quite a lot of differences here. We do see some splatter shots, but is a contrast between the strikes and the Zuka. We have Dynamo as well as Bo for contrasting their AoE, as well as just Dredden Jr. on the side. Temu Maroon is just going to be so interesting here. As you can definitely see, it is Scrap City, and already Splatlanders is looking to see what else they can do in this lockout situation.
Yeah, Wanna Splat helping lead the charge, of course, with a lot of this. This Yuka hopefully going to get some value, not necessarily finding picks, but able to just, create some more pressure for the team. And now it is TMU who's trying to move up, but Jerry here with the Wiper might have something to say about that as they do get some additional nice pressure with their weapon, dodging these flicks from the Dynamo. The Dynamo ultimately getting them, but I mean, those are pretty good moves overall as we do see Plant get a nice cap there for the side of TMU as they were starting to get to kind of a scary position here in this match.
Yeah, for sure. The members of TMU are just doing a fantastic job of scrapping it out here. But generally speaking, it just feels like they're not being able to get the space here. They are getting the picks. They are getting the menace that is Jerry on this wiper several times, and being able to bob and weave. It's a matter of what can you do after you get mid. It's kind of after that little line of through line they managed to jump through. It just kind of seemed to run out of steam here, and it's just very difficult for them to push up. But here we have strikes going out. We get a wipe out here. And never mind. Ignore everything I've been saying, as now they're going to be the ones in the driver's seat, OmaZen.
Yeah, of course, Nep2ne and TMU White kind of in the first big moment they've had all match here. Zuka's coming out from the right from that splatter shot and not able to necessarily find anything. Jerry here with the wiper trying to find something on the left, but that Dynamo from TMU not letting anything get past it. This reslider not necessarily finding any
Oh,
value either, coming out maybe a bit early, and this might be a zone flip as we see this really tight score.
Oh, for sure. It might be a zone flip right here, but no, that's exactly what what was it? TMU Maroon wanted it right here. That focus on the zone a little bit too much. We punish accordingly. We splat the people trying to look at the zone, and now you're being forced into an awkward situation where you no longer have the lead. The Dynamo catching out that wiper, absolute tragedy out there for all sword players watching. Getting another pick out here. Oh my goodness, that is the exact reaction for this flash tag right there I'd have for getting another pick in this Dynamo going actually insane and leading to the end of the game there. I did not realize the time. I'm just focused on the Dynamo swinging in action, just like, oh, hey, there's one person here? Cool. I'm just going to swing over here. Oh, that guy died. Cool. And then I see another one here. Bop on the. I don't know what's going on here, but the Dynamo player is having a time of their life. It's Mako Mart. They're 1-0. Definitely in the driver's seat for this set here, Omaz.
Yeah, the Dynamo player there absolutely kind of being just I mean, honestly, the MVP, if you ask me, so far of this set. Because for a long time, that was absolutely Splatlanders' game. They had a really strong opening. They held everything generally down pretty strongly, most of it. But TMU, with the help of that Dynamo, with the help of just really the entire squad, of course, able to get so much valuable pressure, able to just do so much with their pushes, and was able to lead them to a nice victory there. Of course, to a KO as well.
Oh my goodness! I just realized I've been saying TMU Maroon, and when it's TMU White, it's Division Two. I am actually cooked, guys. For a little bit of context here, I went to 2 lands this weekend. Okay, not many people could say they did that, and I'm just like blowing off some steam right now, and I'm filling in here. But like, you know what? I'm here for the ride. It was a wild ride, as they say out there. If you get the reference, I appreciate you and love you, and will probably buy you some sugarcane juice because that's what I got in New York. But regardless regardless, I want to go back to this set here. Like, let's just zoom out a little bit. The Dynamo was the MVP right there, definitely speaking here, as they were able to consistently shut down a lot of the stronger weapons on the side of Splatlanders that love to initiate right there. Because if you look at what they have, right, they have, what was it, a Wiper. Wiper has a lot of slow kill time, and Dynamo is one of those things that just, if you're in its range and you get flicked, oh, GG's, go next, right? That is the end of your run there as well. So a lot of resources need to be invested into moving Dynamo, and if the Dynamo does set up, which TMU managed to do, they were able to just practically run away with the game, especially keeping the focus in front of the zone rather than focusing specifically on the zone there. I don't know. Am I making sense here? I don't feel like I'm making sense.
No, I completely agree there. Just like everything that the Dynamo, the other members were able to accomplish from the side of TMU, was able to just kind of split up a lot of attention. It was able to have the members of Splatlanders, who ironically I think were trying to play the same scatter game that TMU White ultimately was able to checkmate them on. Splatlanders just couldn't necessarily keep up with it when they did find moments of value. It didn't necessarily translate as strongly as they would have liked because of the members of TMU White just able to convene so quickly on them during those moments. And heading into this next game here, as we're looking at Tower Control Hagglefish Market, I think both of these teams are going to have to keep in mind that they don't necessarily have as much of a free reign over the entire map as they once did. Of course, if you're able to just get control of your opponent's glass and just the entire plat in front of it, that's going to be huge value. But if you don't have someone on the tower, you're not necessarily going to get as much as you were hoping to out of that either.
Yeah, for sure. I like to every time I talk about tower control, right? Everyone like talks about, oh, it's different from zone, but realistically, the zone is just surrounding the tower and it's just moving now, right? So you kind of have to like play around the areas of the map that are relevant to where the tower is and kind of create a little zone of control of yourself to be able to push through those checkpoints and maintain the space and keep up that momentum. Because, okay, never mind. I'm not going to talk about all this theory. We're getting right into it. I see a Splattershot Pro on Splatlanders' side right here. TMU White. Got it right. Okay. Go.
You're all good. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong either. Both TMU Maroon and White are in the semifinals for Division 2. Of course, we are watching White right now. Maroon to be determined how that score went as we wait for the report. But TMU White here opening up pretty strongly with the junior here. IO, I believe, getting a nice initial push there, not necessarily able to translate it into as long as a push as they might have otherwise liked. And Jesse here on this Inkjet trying to get this Dynamo roller kind of scattered a little bit as they have this really odd off angle on their back.
Yeah, for sure. It's a little bit of an awkward situation because the Dynamo is such an important, crucial thing for the push as well. But you know what? If they're so far back, they kind of are forced to jump back out to be able to give Cooler, or never mind, they got picked off there as well. So Cooler's even further delayed. And now we have a beautiful stagger here on the side of Splatlanders being able to push up accordingly, put a lot of pressure on this plat, gunning for that second checkpoint here. This is probably one of the hardest checkpoints to break in that game, and they have a 10 umbrella to soak up so many hits right here and take these fights in front. And now this is going to be potentially a way for Splatlanders to score big time here, but no, the defense is just strong enough here, and now we're kind of in this situation where we're trying to break back into mid if you are TMU White.
Yeah, Endy kind of just having the secret like counter practically to the 10 umbrella with this blaster here, able to just get so much nice pressure, not necessarily getting the splat on Wanna Splat, but able to just help push them back more as TMU White is starting to look for their own counter push into the side of the Splatlanders. No bubble yet here. We do see NJIT just getting really great kind of scattered moments here, but Jesse trying to do what they can to just lead the charge against them.
Yeah, for sure. And honestly, looking at all of these weapons right now, like I think Jesse is kind of the key to holding a lot of potential from the push happening here, because you're able to break that bubble really quickly. You're able to space out and paint around the Dynamo to prevent them from being able to take key positions to splat your teammates right here. And we are just kind of standing bombs at the tower, but hey, sometimes you gotta do what you need to do to be able to get through this checkpoint here as well. And that's exactly here. They're gunning for the second checkpoint here. You're gonna need the members alive. A jetpack's going to be online, popped immediately in response, but is it going to be enough here, OmaZen?
I'm not exactly sure, as we do see this push not necessarily getting that value they were looking
Oh,
for. Just 1 point away, actually, from that lead, barely missing it as the Splatlanders continue just by the skin of their teeth, just holding on to that lead. Jerry here doing what they can to find picks, able to find a delayed 2, but this dynamo roller with the goofy like text face,
I would call
able
that.
to
Oh,
oh,
oh, you got like, oh. Oh, yeah, we're going for another one. Look at this Dynamo actually
holy.
dominating these opponents right here. I think that was a quad right here. I don't care how many numbers that was. You are farming these kids. You are having aura. You are having the time of your life right now, and no one is doing anything to move you or respect the fact that you have this giant wave of paint right here. Oh my god! Like, what? Slow down! There's children out there.
Yeah, for sure. And we see Jerry doing what they can to just hold on to that lead. They aren't successful though, as we do see that lead flip, and also the checkpoint overall flip there for the side of TMU White. That's a huge check, as this map mode is notorious for pushes just getting ended prematurely, people not necessarily getting the big points they're looking for. So as we head into the last minute roughly of this match, it's going to be up to the Splatlanders to see if they can find that big crucial moment. They're going to need the specials for it. We do see 2 up, but Jerry's separated. Wanasplat's stuck on the tower alone. They're not necessarily finding any picks either. There's a bubble. They do find one, but they have to trade themselves for it.
Yeah, for sure. And trades are not something exactly favorable for you. Well, Jerry is going to try to do their best here by using that hammer out here. And they're stalling quite a little bit of time. But here comes the Dynamo. Bonk, dead. We're looking for the next one over here, dude. This Dynamo is actually dominating this match over here, taking these strong off angles while the people in front of in Splatlanders need to focus on this tower as well. And we're also getting cooler soon as well. We have a lot of specials on the side here of TMU White, and that's going to make it very difficult to push here as we enter almost overtime here. It's going to be a desperation all or nothing push here, OmaZen.
No, for sure, absolutely. 8 seconds left on the board, 2 down on Splatlanders. It's not necessarily looking that good. Back in YOLO, unfortunately going down. Crab Tank watching the tower even. 2 people on the tower. Dynamo in front. That's not going to lead to anything for Splatlanders. And the second game is going to go to TMU White, who's continued to dominate this set here, Nep2ne.
Yeah, for sure. I don't. Okay, so I tried to find a way to pronounce this Dynamo splash check, and I am struggling for everything, right? And this the thing I typed into Google, right? It gave me a link to saying wow or lol what face, and I don't think that's appropriate for me to say. Lol, I refuse to call that player. So I'm just gonna call him Dynamo. I'm just gonna call him Dynamo for now. Okay, but that Dynamo, wow. Uh, Man, it always just every time I look at Dynamo like in this patch notes, like even though it got the slight ink efficiency nerf, you now have to understand that where the Dynamo is and existing, that it is a threat, and you need to find ways to effectively poke it out right there. I was talking a lot about how Jesse was doing a very good job keeping the Dynamo at bay, and they were doing their best there, but their attention was being split so many different times. Okay, if I'm not looking at the Dynamo and like the tower is going through, I gotta look at the tower and start peppering the thing, that and getting people weak to be able to stop them from pushing and proceeding. So in that time frame, when you're having your attention split in the weapons that is mainly used to keep that the Dynamo in check is now occupied, you see that opportunity, take that opportunity, go to the bank and cash in, which is exactly what TMU White did to swap that lead and just kind of snowball their way right there. That is how you play tower control. If you look up in the dictionary, that you see a picture just of this game hung up right there. Cinema.
Cinema, absolute cinema. I have to agree. I would like to note, as we are starting to head into this next match here, players choosing to finish up their picks on their weapons. We did see a sub out from back in YOLO into Torito. As we can see here on their weapon list, they do claim to be a carbon roller player. So maybe that's going to be the aggression that Splatlanders needs, opting to remove, I believe, one of their shooter players for that. So they are down 2. I mean, there's still plenty of room to move up again, but I mean, this might follow a similar pattern that we saw our last set go. I hope not, but it should be fun to see as we head into Game 3 on Rainmaker Undertow.
Oh my God, you rhymed like it's Dr. Seuss right here. I feel like, like the presence of someone great right now. But you know what? I'm in a great presence here with these great players out here, showing us a great time here in Division Two. They've had a lot of close call moments right here, and honestly, it's anyone's game given how the situation can play out. And there is no, how do I say, dynamo this match here as well. So I definitely think that the big swing, it's not going to be a carbon, but it is going to be a roller of some sort. Going to be taking the spotlight here with a lot of object damage, as well as I believe the Ink Vac as well. Ink Vac has been getting a lot of attention lately, specifically on this mode to protect your teammates right there. But Jesse masterclassly dancing around the threats to be able to push forward here. And wow, if it weren't for that rapid blast, that would have been first checkpoint there, OmaZen.
No, absolutely would have, and they did a great job of like just seeing that window of opportunity. There were 2 down from the side of Splatlanders. There were 2 people looking at their teammates, and they're like, "Well, I can just go ahead and move up, and they're not going to be able to fully deal with me." And that almost worked out perfectly. Although we do see our former Dynamo player, now the Octobrush, opting to just get this really great pressure here. Low HP, but it's able to translate into a cap for their team as we see them continue to march forward.
I'm speechless. Okay, first off, I'm like thinking, oh, it's just a dynamo. That's pretty easy, right? I feel like because I play with an Octobrush, right? Like I just played with Octobrush at a LAN recently, and I know they have to position correctly and find their moments and take their time, and that's exactly what this Octobrush is doing right there, timing their points, timing their pushes to catch the key members off guard to be able to move forward here. Even though we have something like a Tenebrella that can significantly slow down the pace of the game, that Tenebrella does not mean anything if they are picked off and already, and we're gunning for this left checkpoint, getting them already a wipeout here, practically guaranteeing yourself so many points right here. We're having a near knockout situation already, putting a lot of members on the back foot. We're having another Octobrush here. Hey, just be Bob Ross at this rate. Okay, you're Bob Ross. Like you're putting on an art show, and you're just using the Zipcaster as a vehicle.
I mean, are they Bob Ross or are they Blob Ross?
Oh, that's okay. Which one's copyrighted? I think both of them are copyrighted.
I think they both might be copyrighted, but I mean, okay. Nevertheless, I mean, both teams, I mean, great efforts there, but TAMU White continuing to just pop off. I mean, we saw that Dynamo have that great aggression early on, like even going as far as on like Hagglefish, they just were completely on the back of Splatlanders at one point, ultimately jumping out, but I think they got one with that play. Heading in on Game 3, like going for the Octobrush pick, that was huge. They were able to get so much pressure. It felt like nothing really even changed. They just suddenly could start flying in the sky. That's the only thing that really happened.
Look out, here comes Blob Ross. I'm sorry, that's the first thing that popped in my mind here thinking about it. But like, I got this like consider like. It's okay. I'm recognizing now it's not the weapon; it's the player. Almost like we have to like give the flowers to the flowers are due, right? Because everyone likes to downplay a lot of these weapons. Like, oh, you just need to position correctly. Oh, you don't really need to aim with some of these guns here. They're just kind of AOE slobber or drool dominators, whatever thing you want to put in the dictionary right now. But it's all about positioning and timing. And that's exactly what this player on TAMU White is doing right now. They're looking for these opportunities where they're not paying attention. I believe that was Ninja Squid on the Octobrush there as well. So even though Octobrush is not exactly the speed of a Dynamo or doing exactly what a Dynamo would be doing, they're still playing that basically position game and timing game where they realize they're not looking at me here, so let me get that splat, let me slowly move up, let me get another spot, let me extend with my Zipcaster here to be able to put more pressure on. And I feel like that's going to be very critical going into Clan Blitz, Barnacle, and Dime. So it's going to be very difficult to be able to clear whatever this player is going to be pulling out here. I do not want to call them What Face because that feels like an insult, but hey, we can now just call them the Dynamo because they are back on the Dynamo, and we have a Dynamo battle? Okay.
Dynamo battle for sure. Torito now opting to pick up that weapon as well. And I mean, heading into the beginnings of this match here, maybe that's what they want. They kind of have a little bit of a slower comp, but I mean, with the Tentabrella in tow, maybe that's what you want if you're the Splatlanders. That just provides so many new opportunities for them to just hide around, shark around, just get really fast paint. I say that we do see the tent trade for that Dynamo player from the side of TAMU White. Jerry trying to move up here in the beginnings of this match, having to back off because they realize they're taking a 1v2 fight. But so far, Splatlanders has been in a pretty okay spot in the openings. They kind of could have a little bit of a better clam economy under them, but they do have most of mid under their control.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like Splatlanders are doing a really good job of playing neutral here, but here's the thing: you're going to have to eventually push here, and we're forcing resources on the side of TMU White to be able to spend that to go forward here. However, it's a matter of being able to live exactly. Beautiful jump out right there, while Wanna Splat recognizing exactly what they need to do to be able to win the video game here. But look at this here; it's a scrap for scrap here, special for special, but it's going to go in the favor of TMU White here specifically, and we already have a power clamp and the Dynamo is in position here. We're going to have to watch out OmaZen.
Yeah, we do have to watch out for sure. Plant Gang getting some more clams in. IO getting some more clams in. The Dynamo finding picks seemingly out of nothing. And we do see this score continue to tick down. The clam economy has just been, it's been written that TMU White needs to get this score, it feels like almost. IO barely getting out by the skin of their teeth. But, I mean, when you have a score like remaining 23, that's not bad at all if you're TMU White, who is heading into the last 3 minutes of this match.
I felt that one in myself. But yes, I agree with you, OmaZen. Just every single situation like this, when you just get down to 23, the game kind of shifts about less about needing to push again and more of like, my opponents need to push and they will need to make risky plays and go for stuff to be able to swap this lead. And you can adapt accordingly based off how they play at right there. But hey, it all starts with the Dynamo going down. Wanna Splat looking for this right side here. They want to push up with this 10 umbrella really accordingly and swim behind it here. That crucial pick on the junior there. That's going to be a lot of stall power gone. But look at this. Every single time, like, crucial players are knocked out, it's just almost impossible to walk back to mid. Part of me thinks it's just the comp having so much paint that, like, even if you kill one player, well, the other one's still going to hold paint and stall you out otherwise.
Absolutely. And we kind of see the Splatlanders.
Oh!
Oh, huge double from Jesse here. Although, the clutch
Oh!
triple save.
Whoa,
Oh,
whoa.
the quad. Oh.
And then, okay. And you know, it feels like this is like a bedtime story, man. There once was a Bowman that was goaded on Jet. They got 3 picks, almost saving this push, and then Dynamo came in. The end. Literally every storybook, every situation, every time Flatlander starts to write their own story, their own script, play their own game, there's always one thorn in the side here, and that is the Dynamo. The thorn is gone here. OmaZen, a push could potentially happen.
Yeah, I mean, as many clutch moments as we've seen the Splatlanders have the past minute or so, they just haven't been able to really move that far past their plat overall. Unfortunately, it seems like every single moment they try to walk up a little bit, they get clocked by the Dynamo or this splatter shot here from Endy. And now I say that this might be a moment here. We see Jerry with this hammer trying to find something, not able to necessarily find a pick, but with that clutch combo from their teammate, they're able to get the Dynamo out. That's a huge pick. Also able to find the junior. No bubble for TMU White as we're entering the last minute roughly of this match. They kind of need a few more clams though if they want to find anything of value, especially with the remaining score of 23. You're going to want to try to get a really strong single push here.
Yeah, for sure. You're going to need a lot of points, a lot of stuff, and we need a power clam online here. And we have the jetpack out, so a lot of the clam to be able to push right here. But Wanna Splat recognizing that gets a power here as well. Jerry has 7 here. There is a huge potential to be able to go in with this basket and do it, but your wiper getting shut down there is definitely not going to be ideal. Jesse's going to hold on for dear life here to hold on to this platform as long as it. And we have Torito going a little bit forward here to scoring this basket here. And you know what? Yutsu got a good opportunity to be able to make something happen, but no, it just seems like it's going to get walked on by TMU White, recognizing the fact that, hey, now it's our turn to play the game. We're going to be the ones with the numbers here. We're going to be the ones with the specials. We're painting up entirety of mid, and now you're basically back to square one here. You have a pity clam, but I don't know if that's enough here.
Yeah, I don't think it necessarily will be, especially when more points have been scored for the side of TMU White, and they're practically getting even more, just narrowly missing an additional clam throw from that junior. And as we head into the last moments of this match, we do see the side of TMU White. They're going as far as throwing clams off the map. I can definitely respect that. I've had those moments as well, but I mean, you have to, if you're Splatlanders, you have to find picks here. You can't let a single member of TMU White stay up, because every single member that stays up is another way that your push can get canceled. Look at that Dynamo just completely obliterating his side. Gonna get double at then, just canceling those balls.
Oh my god, that was disgusting, filthy, whatever. Synonym, is that the right word? I don't know exactly. I don't know English here. I'm a Splatoon player,
Wait.
but go ahead.
Okay, by the way, I want to point this out. I think at the very end of the match, TMU White actually threw in another ball into the
Wait.
basket. I'm
Huh?
pretty confident, because the basket went up at the very last second for Splatlanders. Very narrowly on the map there at the very end, you could actually see like a character-shaped blob and a exposed basket, a Splatlanders basket that had just been scored on. So I think there might have been some shenanigans and the ending moments of that match. Maybe we'll go back and take a peek at it later, but wow. TMU White
Man.
dominating.
Domination, dynamo. Two words that use alliteration. I'm not an English major, okay? But you see my point, right? It's just like how every single interaction have gone into TMU White's favor right there. And it just feels like Splatlanders, like their comp in concept makes sense. Their idea is they want to slow you down, make you take uncomfortable interactions against a lot of their weapons to be able to capitalize and snowball their advantages. But here's the thing, TMU White don't really feel that at all. And it's because of the abundance of paint right there and the abundance of bombs and specials that are just able to just be basically clicked as a, okay, we got one, we lost one, let's just put on a band-aid. That band-aid is that special. It's we pop the bubble, or we pop the reef slider, we pop something in response every single time. And then we have the dynamo just take an off angle and just be able to swing to their heart's content. And then meanwhile, Splatlanders, you have players like Jerry who are very mobile, but like you also have to be considered the fact that you have a dynamo. Dynamo is still a clunky weapon, and unless it has that paint, it has that area to move up. A lot of the times it's going to be playing back, and then dynamo, and then the bow is doing as much as possible here. I got to give my flowers to Jesse. Jesse going absolutely insane on that inkjet there, saving a potential push right there. We're getting 3 with that jetpack as well. You have the tools. It's just a little bit too hard on the execution side here.
I have to agree there. Jesse absolutely coming in clutch. Of course, the rest of the members of Splatlanders all having their moments, having their strong moments as well in the matches we've seen so far. But if they're going to get, like, this at this point, a reverse sweep, because we are at match point now, they're going to just have to find every single moment that they can to make sure that the dynamo is called out, that the dynamo can't do anything. And I mean, regardless of whatever weapon they pick, like, you have to make sure that that player in general is called out, because they have been the key playmaker we've seen all set for TMU White. But heading into game 5 here, Splat Zones, Robo, it's all going to come down to this, Nep2ne.
It's all going to come down to this. Hey, you know what? As a famous commentator once said, I believe this is Mr. Slap right here. You know, sometimes you're under a lot of pressure, and diamonds can only form if you have a lot of pressure. So here we go. Back to against the walls, reverse sweep potentially in court right here. TMU White trying to roll over and finish a set as possible. A lot is going to be on the line here, OmaZen. Let's get started.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. Jerry able to find a clutch pick on ND. That's their splatter shot player. Although they are going to go down, and Plant Gang with the reef slider able to get, I think, 2. Yes, 2. They do get a double there, and that's going to just absolutely catapult their push here as TMU White, like nothing. They seem to just move up with such aggression. They're able to get these huge picks. They're able to just continue to move forward here, and now it's going to be up to Splatlanders if they're able to get specials out in time.
For sure, Jesse already got their jetpack out and are already looking for a way to push forward here. But hey, 2 crucial picks here, and Jerry on this hammer, making sure that Dynamo is gone for good here. So, but no, look at this. It's still a neutral zone here, as we have a splatter shot junior right here, right? They're doing this roll to potentially stop the zone from being capped right here, stalling a lot of potential push potential from Splatlander. But hey, look at this. Jetpacks are being cycled like it's recycle day. It's Green Earth Day, but for jetpacks, maybe.
I love that, absolutely. And we see Splat able to get a triple with the splashdown. That was the moment, I think, of this match we've seen so far. We're going to see a lead flip. That just absolutely stalled the side of TAMU, where now Splatlanders has this moment they have to make last as long as they can. Strikes going out in the zone, but we don't necessarily see the Splatlanders out yet. The Dreadringer down. That's their Reef Slider. They aren't going to necessarily get a cheese flip anymore, although this Dynamo doing what they have done this whole set, trying to find a flip, they do. And now TAMU White's going to have to try to see if they can get the zone under their control long enough to have that flip in their power.
Yeah, for sure. You gotta have to start with this Dynamo right here. Dynamo on Dynamo action right there. That is interaction. I saw it in that pit right there, but it's gonna be in the favor of Splatlanders. Getting 3 down and then finally picking off this Dynamo right here. I don't think they had any soda in them. No, wait, they did. They just kind of respawned really quickly. Never mind. Do not listen to me, but listen to this. That Splatlanders is going to be in the lead right now and going to be looking for a lockout situation here. Strikes are going to be spent early, but you get traded out with a jetpack. Jerry catching the shark on the right here as well. It is a near wipeout here. It's just this junior player. You need to force his bubble on zone, but I don't think you can get there in time.
No, absolutely, for sure here. We do see a splashdown out once again from Splat, trying to play the shark angle on the left, maybe popping a little bit prematurely, but they do take out Plant Gang, and that's a pretty big pick if you're the Splatlanders. 5 seconds left here. It seems like the zone's going to stay under their control. It does, and that's going to be their first win on the board, as this set no longer becomes a 5-0. Splatlanders is still on the board, Nep2ne.
They are on the board, and that's all you need to get things started right here. And I gotta give my flowers are due right there. Wanna Splat making that switch to Tenebrella, recognizing, hey, Tenebrella's a bit too clunky here. I'm not getting the Zuka picks that I want. I can't move up as quickly as I want. But I think the switch to the Splashdown Recycled Brella is unironically been like the fuel for the fire that Splatlanders need to be able to stay in this set right now. Because you saw the triple Splashdown in that spot. It's called the triple splashdown because it got a triple, by the way. But regardless, it was being used at so many crucial situations to basically put the respawn timer on TAMU White. Every single situation they wanted to be up, and they just couldn't play the video game. Like, what is this? Am I watching an unskippable cutscene?
I mean, maybe not. I do want to report, though, we are going to see a sub out from TAMU White here as we enter Game 6 of this set. Kind of waiting to see what player we see come in, though, but that's going to be kind of a big moment. I believe we had Plant Gang swap out for Trooper, I want to say, based on the swapped comps on the board now. So that is going to be a kind of a big shift for the comp there. One of their big aggro players now having to get swapped out, as I guess TAMU White's looking for maybe a slightly different comp style to address what we just saw from Splatlanders and that splashdown and just everything else they were able to throw out.
Yeah, for sure. You have a lot of I think you're gonna have to redefine, not like redefine the comp, but like more of like reorganize how you play around that comp. Because like a lot of the times, like a lot of weapons can play like a typical role. Like they'll play supportive, for example. Like I play shot. Like a lot of the times people see that as a support role. But in certain situations, certain comps, when there's not a lot of abilities to push up, then yeah, you're gonna have to be the one on the front line right there. And being able to make this team swap could potentially be game changing as we get into game number 6 here.
Tower control, Manta Maria opening up now. We're going to see what we're cooking with Octobrush out again. Double shooter from the side of TAMU White. The side of Splatlanders opting to bring out once again that big swig we saw once before, but now once again in full force with the slightly adjusted comp from there. And how are we going to start out here?
Yeah, for sure. Something that's immediately jumping out to me is we have a double splashdown comp. We are really investing into the splashdown stocks right here, as they were very successful last game here. But I feel like we just need to find the space accordingly to play around it, and that's exactly what Jerry is doing, looking for that opportunity to be able to get in with that wiper as well as poke accordingly. But no, it's going to be Torito taking the flank here with Jesse on the jetpack to force the splashdowns a bit forward here. And look at this. This is great positioning to be in right now if you're in mid to be able to get that tower taking control control of that bunker and being able to get those picks. The Octobrush goes down, even though it's a 2-2. That tower's in advantage, and it's slowly giving a little bit more pressure here, OmaZen.
Yeah, I mean, we just see picks going back and forth, but I think Splatlanders maybe being the general winner of a lot of those interactions, at least so far. Jesse popping another jet here, a really well-timed bubble, not necessarily going to be as well-timed as you were otherwise hoping for. Jerry really just also owning a lot of great moments in this match so far, able to find a great pick there onto the blaster, and just moving forward here, we see the members of Splatlanders not really letting any space go to waste so far. They're still working through that first checkpoint, but they want to make sure that they have the rest of the map under their control as we see them scatter about.
Yeah, for sure. We have this Octobrush. We're slowly trying to wait out here as well. It's going to recall real quick. And now this is Jerry's opportunity to be able to push up here, put a lot of pressure on that Rapid right now. But hey, the tower is still in your advantage here. You see the Junior on the side. You managed to get that pick. Absolutely massive right here. It was not quite enough to clear this checkpoint. But hey, points are points. We take those. And now you have a lot of paint. You have the control of mid. You have specials coming up online. Looks like it's going to be Splatlanders' time to be able to probably shut the door and potentially be able to get another game on the board.
Absolutely. This Octobrush trying to just distract and maybe get some attention off the front for the Splatlanders, but as we see, just once again, this this Octobrush doing a great job getting a very nice double. The hammer also getting canceled with the help of the whole TAMU White team, and now this is kind of their opportunity to try to move up once again. They're kind of taking notes out of the book from Jerry on the side of Splatlanders, getting really nice picks.
Really nice picks indeed. The Zipcaster being popped at just the right time to be able to catch a jump here and put a lot of pressure on Wanna Splat. We do have a bubble coming up right here to be able to force the space right here, but Splashdown's going to just only trade the bubble, not necessarily the player. The player who did Splashdown is unfortunately splatted, and now we have a lot of pressure on this tower right here. But no, Splatlanders is able to keep calm and keep collected here to be able to hold on to their lead and now find a way to respond.
Yes, of course. And as we kind of look into this match here, we do have a flank from the Zap finding a pick. I mean, this is kind of like why they made that swap, I'm sure. Able to just get a lot of great pressure with their shooter weapon. Although we do see the Wiper get a trade out, but not without a Trooper able to make that in the favor of TMU White once again. Bombs coming out from them, but they still are looking for this lead. It seems so close, but it is also so far.
It's so close yet so far, but hey, maybe this Zipcast can open up something right here. You can definitely see the members of Splatlanders try to respect the heck out of this Octobrush. Make sure they can't. The bubble is going to shut down any chance of the jetpack. We do get the lead swap now, and we are kind of in a bit of a stagger situation. The Octobrush does dive, almost gets two, and now we just have to stop this push right here. Okay, take a breath. Realize we have a minute left and we can just probably take this tower coast to coast and potentially move forward here.
For sure, and Wanna Splat trying to just help initiate some of that pressure, of course, able to get the members of TMU White off of the bunker for now, and now it's going to be up to them as the tower starts to march past that center point. Wanna Splat with a splashdown here, the members trying to find picks, but this Octobrush in the center just kind of getting free reign practically, not getting addressed. I mean, that once again, like we were kind of highlighting in the middle point between this set and the last, you have to make sure that you are taking note of where they're going, and if you're not doing that, you're going to really struggle to get a good foothold over mid. And as they're looking to move this tower further, they might be looking for more points. They might just be looking to get it more forward, but Splatlanders is really kind of struggling now to get a good foothold.
For sure, they had so much steam in that engine at the start right here, but that steam is being counteracted by the cold that are these big bubblers, that are these Octobrush flanks. But now, looks like we got the cold out right now, and we're looking to change the season here as Wanna Splat looking to find ways to go forward, but no, a crucial bomb pick coming out from the Trooper. I guess they live up to their name, OmaZen. They live up to their name, being an absolute unit.
Yeah, Trooper just being a really strong player overall this match, able to just help make sure that a lot of the pushes that Splatlanders was bringing out didn't necessarily find the value they were looking for, and that was able to help them get this close out here as we have a 5-1 final score on this set. Really great efforts from both teams. We're going to be looking to get some of the members of TMU White here shortly for a brief interview, of course, but I mean, I think this was also one of the shortest sets we've had overall as a part of the CCA playoffs, Nep2ne.
Honestly, like I'll be honest, I was running on like very like fumes, gas, very not a lot of energy, but like the teams today played a really good set out at the end because a lot of the games, especially games 1, 2, and 3, there were situations where you felt like, okay, that could have gone either way, right? It was just Splatlanders, I think, just recognizing the fact that they're getting a bit too overwhelmed or didn't keep something in check just for those last crucial moments that forced them to make plays that essentially made them to like play back to take back a pretty big lead that they established. And yeah, just wow is the only way I can say that right there. And we need to know the name of this dynamo. If we don't learn the name of this dynamo tonight, I will be upsetty spaghetti.
I kind of am on the same page there. We don't need a real name, of course, but like, how do you at least pronounce that? Like, is there another name they go by? And this is just kind of like, oh, this is like a funny name I was gonna run for the seventh league season. But as we kind of wait here for the members of TAMU White to kind of join a VC. I also have to commend both sides. Of course, Splatlanders having a really great season overall. Like, you don't just roll up to semifinals like it was nothing. Like, every single team here has had to kind of fight the hardest they can to move forward. Quarterfinals in particular this season, just across the board, were very tough for every team involved. And as we just move forward, I think it reflects on a lot of the sets we've had. Like, every single team has had to just experiment. They've had to figure out new options. Splatlanders able to get a win in part due to that, but TAMU White just answering that call, of course, able to figure out their own solution to the problems they were being presented. So great efforts from both ends. We're going to be looking to get TAMU White in here shortly, though.
Yeah, for sure. Just, I think this is the season of TMU because I believe you saw me confusing them earlier for TMU Maroon. Number one, I apologize. I did not understand your game right there, especially with the performance here tonight. And I gotta just give my flowers or flowers are due. I know we keep highlighting the Dynamo and the Octobrush here as well, but like I feel like there were so many critical plays from many different players right there. It's just, hey, you kind of stood out on the because you kind of stood out for a good reason. You made some of the more impactful plays during that set right there, but flowers are flowers and they are given and taken, unfortunately. And going all the way through with, how do I say it, trying to push all the way through the entire season. You have to go through the group stage. You need to be able to find ways to go forward here. But OmaZen, I need to know. Can we speak with them now? I need to know the name of that player.
No, absolutely. We're going to be pulling in, I believe, IO and ND from the set of TMU White here in just a brief moment. I also have that Clan Blitz match loaded up here on the side just to see what maybe happened in those final moments that we were a bit surprised about. But let's go ahead and bring them in.
Yeah, for sure. Hello, ND, and I think Io, is that how you say your name? I'm sorry, but like, welcome aboard and to the CCA stream. How are you doing tonight?
Howdy. Pretty good.
Pretty good, yeah. No, that was an impressive 5-1 showcase here tonight. You really did, how do I say it? Well, it was very close during the first few games. It felt like you were slowly shutting the door and finding ways to get back on your feet, recognize ways you can swap the lead there as well. But yeah, the first question I have today, who's the Dynamo? How do you say their name? Because it's just a what face for their splash tag.
We always call him, well, his full name is Fire or something, but we always just short it by saying Fire.
Oh,
yeah, so that's Fire.
That's Fire?
Well, Fire Claw.
That's Fire.
Yeah, Fire Claw. Fire Claw is his name.
Wait. So you're telling me some of the craziest plays comes from a player that goes by the name Fire?
Yeah, he's been a great addition to the team. He came on this semester actually.
Oh.
So we're
gameplay is pretty fire. I'm not gonna lie to you.
It's pretty fire.
For sure. And he's really allowed our gameplay and like our strategy, and, the way we develop our comp. He's really allowed us to kind of branch out and he's been very very much a part of the team and helping us chug through our victories this semester. So very very proud of the team and everything Fire's been able to help us with.
Yeah, no, like I noticed that immediately. Like he kind of opened the door for your comp right there. And while I kind of have an idea of like what that means, like can you go a little bit more into detail on like how that like kind of goes around with like your comp and your play style? Like, well, it's obviously they're getting a lot of picks and they're taking a lot of attention and like being able to enable you all. But like, can you go to the specifics of that?
For sure, yeah. I mean, the main thing was, I mean, during circuit in the fall, we didn't have fire, so it was just me, IO, Trooper, and Plant Gang, and mainly I was kind of playing more backline weapons, and kind of being like the paint foundation for our team, and we did kind of struggle with like we tend to have very good defense, and then like IO is like a very offensive player with Brush, and then now he's picked up Junior, which has been awesome, and I'm sure he can speak more on that too. It's just been we found that we were a little bit limited on our offensive side, so having Fire with Dynamo after the recent patch buffs has really allowed us to kind of open up our comp. Has allowed me to play a little bit more offensive, which is kind of what I'm more used to, and we can kind of be a little bit more paint focused and not have to worry too much about that.
Yeah, I got that.
Sure.
Makes a lot of sense there. What was it? Sorry, Ion, did you want to comment on that? Sorry.
Oh no, I was just like I agree because our comp wasn't bad, but it just was kind of not too flexible with the introduction of Fire and his weapons. We were able to kind of bend rules a bit. I was able to switch out from Brush to I think Junior, if I remember, because I think Fire gave me the suggestion, and it helped really mesh with the comp really well actually.
Oh, okay. So you're getting a lot of just. Okay, yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense here and explains what's going on here. I'm sorry I've been asking so many questions here, OmaZen. Did you have anything in mind? Because like I needed to get to the bottom of this right now, and I'm very much like into this interview already.
I mean, go for it, Nep2ne. Like,
Go for it to just keep pulling the triggers. Okay, yeah, one after the other here. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just very like I'm into the minds here. I want to see what's going on through the heads of these TMU White players as well with that showcase here. So I want to ask something really quick here. What was kind of going through your mind at the start of the set versus like towards the end of it? Because I feel like there was a little bit of a contrast because Splatlanders would manage to pull that one game on Robo, and they had quite a lot of good moments to control that tower on tower control as well. So kind of like walk me through your thought process. What's going through your minds? How are you feeling? And how exactly you counteracted those feelings to come out on top?
Sure. I guess I
Guess you
could
go
I
first,
can kind
Andy.
of give from I'll give from like kind of my perspective. I did I kind of had been taking a look at Splatlanders' performance against there were two PSU teams in Div 2, I think. So there was one earlier in the season that I watched a little bit of their playoff game to against PSU Blue, Neo, and one of the things I noticed was they have the bow and the tent, so I kind of figured like it is a kind of a rather slow comp, but we just can't let them. We can't let my main thing that I was telling the rest of the guys on TAMU White was we can't let the sword get behind us, and we can't let the wiper pop a hammer behind us or throw it at Trooper's crab when it was had crab, as well as watching the Zukas. So kind of at the beginning it was watch where the sword is, and then kind of in that Mako zones game we were we kind of I think we got like wiped out in the first like minute or so, I think, but then towards the end it was I kind of found a little bit of success kind of drawing attention away, being on the right flank, and then Io's bubbles came in really clutch there too as well, kind of establishing a control in mid and kind of scattering the resources and forcing them to have to invest a lot of resources into not panning the zone. And also like I didn't realize this until like the second game, but I don't think they were really running a whole lot of coolers, and we had coolers, so we could kind of afford to be a little bit more aggressive, and then we would come back with our specials as well.
Oh, yeah, we took advantage of that.
Yeah, I guess in the zones game they kind of threw us for a loop for a little bit with kind of change of comp. The splashdown on the umbrella was a little bit interesting to deal with.
It kind of it did kind of break our defense because the comp we had was like pretty balanced. We weren't expecting them to just go full Russia, and that really kind of threw us for a loop. I agree on you on that.
Yeah, we did kind of get like zoned out, and then we kind of fed a little bit to into like the bow on Jet, and their Inkjet is very talented as well on the side of the bow. Is
Oh yeah, they hit their shots
cool.
well.
Oh yeah, Jesse is absolutely an incredible player. Like every time they inkjetted, there was something happening, right? Whether it was picks, space, they were just an absolute unit of a player at the end of the day, and you guys were able to recognize that and play around that as well, which is equally as impressive. And like, I like this idea of like, you did your scouting, you did your research, you realized, okay, this cannot happen. We cannot let the wiper get behind us. We cannot let this 10 umbrella set up. We have our game plan. We just need to execute it and prevent them from executing their game plan, which is exactly how I feel like most people should approach Splatoon, right? There's a lot of dynamics and like nuances with the weapons and the comps that you're able to build, and I'm seeing that like not only like from your side gameplay wise, but hearing her from the interview wise definitely shows that you came well prepared for this matchup, and we're playing around that fact.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of throughout the season been doing the same as well. Like, going up in our fight against Creamed Corn in the regular season, it was like, learning how do we deal with Explosher and how to deal with the Dynamo, and was able to take some advice from our growing TAMU Splatoon community. So huge shout out to them, and all the support that they've given us as well.
Oh
Yeah, for sure. OmaZen, please, I heard your voice.
Oh, yeah.
I know you want to speak
Okay.
here. Speak your mind.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask a question. Actually, I'm going to go ahead, if you're watching our stream, you two, I'm going to go ahead and also just show a replay of one of the matches, swapping over our overlays, of course, here. I wanted to ask about the end
I know what this is going to be about.
of the Clam Blitz game on Barnacles. So, I mean, of course, our stream cam, we were just watching all the main action happening as Splatlanders was attempting to get that last push. But as you can see, while everyone's pushing in, and I mean, Fire just doing an absolutely insane job, Io, you just dunked the the super clam into the basket.
Oh yeah, that was just. I mean, to be honest, I took advantage of it because they were all pretty much focused on trying to get overtime or trying to get that clam in. So I was like, oh, well, I'll take advantage, just sneak around their flank and try to get in for us so we can end the overtime quicker. I said that main brush. It's kind of like a brush mentality. I always tend to do that.
What's that card term? Like catch 24, catch 25, right? Like, yeah, that is just basic. Catch 22. Thank you. I don't know numbers here, okay? But you know what? That doesn't matter. What I know is you created a catch 22 situation in a sense of like, okay, well, Fire's gonna hold down the front, and if they somehow get through Fire, which they did not, they had to go through and make a very risky play because the time was like through. You kind of just had that as basically like an insurance policy right there, right? Like, oh, and somehow, some shape or form, I'm able to just run over to their basket. I'm a very mobile junior player, right? And I can just get these power claims into the basket and just end the game right there. That's just great game state recognition at the end of the day. So good job there, IO.
Oh yeah, I appreciate it. I mean, it's better always to be just prepared, just like, okay, in case they do go all down, this will at least make sure that we don't have to worry about them getting a comeback on us.
Absolutely. I mean, I wanted to close out this interview as well with you both, but just like asking, like, what are you anticipating as you head into the finals? I do want to highlight that unfortunately, your sister team, TMU Maroon, unfortunately went down in a 4-5 Game 9 set for Division 2 semifinals against Bull Squids. So as we look into Grands, it seems like you all will be fighting Bull Squids. I guess with that information in mind, what are you anticipating as the CCA League Season 7 concludes and you try to get that #1 spot?
I mean, I watched before our set here against Splatlanders. I did catch the TAMU Maroon against Bull Squids, and I mean, it was a fantastic set to watch. And while unfortunately we can't have the rivalry match, here, done by the CCA, I'm sure that we'll be scrimmed. I mean, we actually just scrimmed today as well.
Oh yeah, we did with them.
I mean, looking into next week and Grands, I definitely, from what I saw on the side of Bull Squids, definitely a lot of talent there. There's some things that I'm thinking about and like looking at, strategy wise, and how we can kind of counter that. So I guess I don't want to divulge too much information, right?
Of
Gotta keep
course.
the opposite.
Sorry, not divulging too much. You're aware. You know the fact that these mods are out there, and people could potentially study you as well and learn a little bit more. But no, I appreciate that and respect that. Really, that's based. That's based as heck. OmaZen, I'm sorry. I've enjoyed this interview a bit too much. I'm gonna let you wrap things up here as well. But yeah, that. Thank you for answering my questions and taking time out of your day to have this interview in the first place.
Oh yeah,
For sure, yeah, it was awesome to speak to y'all and get to kind of learn about like what exactly y'all are looking at from the CCA side, looking at the teams here and I guess just like final thoughts on my end. I'm really proud of the work that we've put in on TAMU White this semester, as well as just all the TAMU teams. We've had a really great showing here in CCA Season 7. So just really proud and really grateful for what we've been able to do.
Absolutely. Thank you both so much. We're going to go ahead and close off the stream. We'll see you next week sometime for Grands. And Nep2ne, it was a great time to watch this set with you. Where can the good people find you?
Don't find me. I sound like oh god. Okay, you can find me. I'll Nep2ne-TV on Blue Sky. I went to 2 lands. I might post something about it a little bit later. Hint, hint, wink, wink. But you can also find me here at CCA, losing my mind, as I am right now. But OmaZen, where can people find you? Because I know you are in a much more sane place of mind, even after having your mind blown from watching this set.
I mean, you can say that, but I think we kind of both went through our own moments this past weekend. It's been a very busy weekend with the CCA, I'll say that, if you've been watching the Twitch channel. But I mean, you can all find me, of course, here. You can find me over at Beep. You can also find me on my Blue Sky. And feel free to follow me. Feel free to just see what is going on. But aside from that, that's going to do it for us tonight, everyone. It has been a pleasure to watch you all, and we are going to close out semifinals weekend. Have a good one.
Have a good one.